on to our next news. Cambodia's Deputy Prime Minister has called the U.S. move to consider tariff reductions a huge victory for the region as Thailand steps up efforts to avoid heavy duties on its exports. Thailand's Finance Minister Pichai Chunhavajira said his country will not back down. The comments come as Washington threatens to raise tariffs to 36% on Thai imports once a temporary pause expires on July 9th. Cambodia's support highlights regional backing for Thailand's stand as Southeast Asian economies push back against unilateral U.S. trade penalties, with Thailand's economy under pressure from slowing growth and global uncertainty. Minister Pichai said Bangkok remains committed to a fair deal but won't yield to pressure. Here's what he has said.
ว่ามี10กว่าประเทศนะครับที่ประธานาธิบดีทรัมป์ได้ประกาศแล้วก็ส่งอัตราภาษีมาให้แล้วก็ในข้อความก็จะมีบอกว่าให้เราเร่งคุยซะให้ก่อนวันที่1สิงหาคมให้ได้นะครับที่จะเป็นก็เท่ากับว่าเลื่อนจากวันที่9กรกฎาคมไปเป็นวันที่1สิงหาคมอันนี้ถามบอกว่าแล้วทำไมเป็นอย่างนั้นก็เนื่องจากว่าการเจรจาเนี่ยมันต้องใช้เวลาก็เลยเลื่อนเวลาออกไปนะครับเพราะนั้น
Now we're joined by our guest Dr. Sanjay Kumar. He's a journalist at the Korea Herald, joining us live from Seoul, South Korea. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to NewsX World. Sanjay, how significant is Cambodia's support for Thailand in opposing the proposed U.S. tariff increases, and what does this mean for regional trade unity here?
Asuma, we should not forget that ASEAN, they are very firm in terms of inclusivity and sustainability. And in order to have a sustainable ASEAN, all these 11 members, they are committed to have a sustainable economy and a kind of risk-free economy. Of course, there can't be any risk-free economy in this free and capital-oriented, like capitalism-oriented markets, but ASEAN has always shown solidarity when it comes to have such kind of economic adversities. So if we see Thailand, after Singapore, we should not forget that Thailand is a kind of a financial gateway to ASEAN for many overseas investors too. So joining hands with Cambodia is a kind of tone that will send a signal to US that we ASEAN members are firmly committed to have such inclusivity and save ourselves. We should not forget that ASEAN also has a lot of raw materials, production things are happening there since a couple of years. So US cannot unilaterally impose such kind of tariff and cannot pressurize ASEAN. This kind of tone the ASEAN members have. And it is very remarkable to see that Thailand and Cambodia has joined, which is surely going to send some signals to other countries as well in ASEAN, as well as East Asia and some other countries. Because if we see the 14% tariff stuff, the effect is not only on Thailand and Cambodia, but other ASEAN members too. And like ASEAN and Japan, Korea also has very close economic links, and they are interdependent upon each other as well. And we should not forget Vietnam factor here as well, because if you have to balance this US-China deepening competition, then Vietnam and ASEAN has really played a very central role when it comes to the whole Asian region. And East Asia is also, in East Asia, like Japan and Korea, has also shown not very satisfactory comments. So we can see that Japan also has said that it is very regrettable, and it is they are going to discuss, they are going to negotiate, but Japan has not received these things with open arms. And you can also refer to the Japan's ruling party comments, which is not seeing this whole action of sending letter in a humble manner. And we should not forget that Japanese culture, in Japanese culture, humble traditions are always valued. South Korea, on the other hand, also has said that it is kind of regrettable. Although the tone, if we see the Japan and Korea tone, then Japan has come up with like a little stronger tone than South Korea, and it is very visible. And maybe we can think in that perspective that the government here in South Korea is new. But yes, coming on to the ASEAN, we can see some kind of very inclusive tone in coming days. It would not be surprising, but very interesting to note that all these 14 countries, how they are going to communicate among each other, and then whether they are going to build some sort of consensus on trade and economy or not, and then going to deal with President Trump or not. So, but there is a room, I think, because when you refer to the letter of President Trump, the tone of letter is like saving the U.S. economy from these trade deficit things are there. But in the meantime, we can also see that the tone is softer in the sense that the letter itself says that it is negotiable, kind of. Although there is a deadline set as 1st of August, but it says that the tariff can be increased or decreased also depending upon the negotiations that they are going to have. Yes.
Dr. Sanjay, I would like to also push you on if you can maybe help us understand what options does Thailand have to negotiate for a fair deal with the U.S. as of now, and how might this influence broader U.S. Southeast Asia or ASEAN trade relations?
From my perspective, Thailand and Cambodia should talk to other ASEAN members also, and we should also not forget that Philippines has recently taken the ASEAN chair. So these issues should be brought to the ASEAN chair, and ASEAN as a whole should discuss with Trump, and that kind of high-level summit can be very helpful, I think.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sanjay, for joining us today. Dr. Kumar Sanjay for joining us today as a journalist from Korea Herald. Now we move on to our next news.